Hi, this is Jennifer, and I'm here with Veronica, and today we're going to show you how to get started with Tunisian crochet. Tunisian crochet is a unique crochet technique that is a mix of knitting and crochet. It creates a thick, dense, textured fabric that looks like a basket weave. Here are two examples of a finished Tunisian crochet project. Notice the features of the fabric, thick and textured. Also note that the back resembles knitting and the front resembles a basket weave. So this is a first project. This is a scarf made out of Tunisian crochet. And then this is a table runner made from Tunisian crochet. And again, notice the back looks like knitting. And the front has a basket weave pattern. So why haven't you heard of this great technique? Well, its popularity has ebbed and flowed with a peak in the 1800s. And you might have heard of it by another name. It's also called shepherd's knitting, tricot crochet, German work, Russian work, fool's or idiot's stitch, crochet knit, Tunis crochet, railway stitch, and Afghan crochet. Whew, that's a lot of names. But the most common name now seems to be Tunisian crochet. The origination of the technique is murky. There is no evidence to support the logical inference that it came from Tunisia. It appears that the French first called it Tunisian crochet, and crochet publications started showing Tunisian stitches in the early 19th century, but no one knows where the stitch came from. And though it's called Tunisian crochet, you use an Afghan hook to make the stitch. However, Veronica's mother called it a Spanish needle, so there might be cultural or regional differences. The Afghan hook is long and skinny, like a cross between a knitting needle and a crochet hook. Here is an Afghan hook. Notice that the end is hooked like a crochet hook, but it's long and skinny like a knitting needle. For comparison purposes, here is a crochet hook with the hook on the end, but it's short. And here are knitting needles with no hooks, but long and skinny. You can find the hook by the name Afghan hook at most craft stores or online, and Veronica got hers at a big box store. Now we're going to show you how to make a little coaster. Here's our finished piece. And notice the Tunisian stitch to make it, and on the back it looks like knitting, and it has a nice finished edge up at the top. So we'll show you how to make the crocheted coaster, or get started with a crocheted scarf, and then how to finish the edge. Like crochet, you start with a chain. This is your foundation row or cast on row. Then, leaving a loop on the hook, insert your hook in the second chain from the hook and pull up a loop. You will now have 2 loops on the hook. Insert the hook in the next chain and pull up a loop for a total of 3 loops on the hook. Repeat this process until you reach the end of the chain. Notice how quickly it goes compared to knitting, and how like crochet it is with the hooks and loops. Now you will have a row of loops on your hook like this. This is your base row. Chain 1 to return, but don't turn the piece. This type of work is done on the front of the piece, and the front is always facing you. Then yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops. Repeat across, working off 2 loops at a time until 1 loop remains. So notice she yarned over and went through 2 loops, yarned over, went through 2 loops, yarn over, went through 2 loops, until 1 loop remains on the hook. Like this. This gives you row number 1 of your Tunisian stitch. To make row number 2, you will skip the first stitch or vertical bar and insert the hook from right to left under the next bar, then yarn over and pull the yarn from left to right. Then you'll insert the hook under the next stitch or bar, yarn over, and pull from left to right to make a loop. Repeat across until you have picked up all the loops. So notice she's doing each bar or stitch, yarning over, pulling from left to right to make loops on the hook. When you reach the end, chain 1 to return, and repeat row 1 or step number 6, which is yarn over and pull through the next 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, and repeat across, working off 2 loops at a time until 1 loop remains. You will see something like this, and you will repeat these steps until the piece is the size you want it to be. So here we've made a little coaster, and if you were making a scarf, you would just put fringe on the edge, at the top edge, where you notice that it's not quite finished. But since we're making a small piece, we're going to finish the edge using a slip stitch. So you go back through the loop, through one of the stitches, yarn over, pull through the loops, through a stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and just continue down the line of the edge of the piece. Going through every stitch. Until you reach the last stitch, and there's your finished edge, ready for this to be a coaster or anything you want it to be. And If you are interested in learning some more information about Tunisian crochet, we have 2 books in the system that have instructions on how to do Tunisian crochet. One is the Ultimate Crochet Bible by Jane Crowfoot. The other is the Modern Crochet Bible by Sarah Shrimpton. So check these out today to find out some more information about Tunisian crochet and for some picture illustrations on how to do it. Thank you so much for joining us for this how-to video. Good luck!